Hello, this is Grandma Jan from Red Toad Art Studio, and today I'm going to do my first steampunk collage. I received this book for Christmas, and I found the neatest picture in here. I can't show you now because I've already cut it out, but I will show you in a minute. But this is the neatest book if you like steampunk style of collaging. And I have done a review of this book, and I'll link to that in the description box. So, to start out with, I took a page of this. It's a paper canvas, so it's nice and solid to mount your collage on. Now, you could use some other things like cardstock, poster board, but this is just what I had handy at the time. And I've had it for a long time and it needs to be used. But you probably can't even see it there, but it's very flexible but solid. On top of that, then I put some black scrapbooking paper so that I would have a black frame, which I got out of this texture collection by Ruby, and I have a review of that one also. And I got my background beige paper out of this mixed media collection. Both of these books I got at Walmart. I also got various images that you'll see, the little girls and the cat and any other things I got out of the Cutout and Collage Book Volume 6. And I think I used a piece out of Rustic Charm, Farmhouse Cut and Collage. So that is what I used out of. Let's get that out of the way. So, I have cut out my pieces because that's very time consuming. And I've also inked around the edges of each piece with Distress Ink Vintage Photo. This was the large piece that I had out of the Steampunk book. Isn't she neat? And this is how I used Distress ink on them. I just dabbed it in my ink and then went around the edges like this. And that works wonders for covering up little spots that you had a hard time cutting close enough and it left a little white edges. This will take care of it because it will blend it all together. And that's a tip I give. I use this in almost everything I make that has this type of image in it. And then I worked to piece them all together where I wanted them. And since I had to quit, it was late. It took me several hours to get to that point. I took a picture of them on my iPad. You could do that with your phone. If you have a picture, you want to remember how you place things, but you need to quit. Just take a quick picture of it. I don't know if you can see it, but here is the picture I took on my iPad. It's not fancy. I didn't worry about being perfect lighting or anything. I just want to know where I placed things. So I will keep that by my side as I put things down so I remember. Now, I know my figure has to stand on something, so in one of those texture books, I found these brick. So I cut a strip of brick that I want to put right down there for her to stand on. So let's do that first. This is a big collage, so it's kind of hard for me to get it all in the screen, but we'll try. Right now, I'm just using stick glue. I did use, like Elmer's glue, the liquid, to put these down so it would go down nice and smooth. There we go. Now, before I paste anything else down, I'm going to make a shadow line on the top of my brick, just like this. Not a lot, just enough to kind of set it off. You could do this with chalks or paint or different markers that you have. I'm just using my black colored pencil, and you can use any brand of colored pencil for this. This is something you probably won't even notice in a finished collage, but every little mark has an effect, whether it's noticeable or not. You kind of feel it in your bones. There. Smudge that a little bit. It won't smudge much, but just a little bit. I need to look at the placement. I think she's supposed to be a fairy, but I don't know. She doesn't look too friendly to me, and this collage is kind of supposed to tell a story. We want her wings to fit in, and they just barely fit in because I have some things to put here and some things to put here. But I think we should place her first. So let's get some glue on the back of our, well, we'll call her a fairy. Whether she's a good fairy or a bad fairy, that's what we'll call her. That's what they called her in the book. There, isn't that interesting? Now I'm going to put a shadow right under her skirt and her feet with my black pencil. Just a simple shadow, a line, just to give it a little depth. Okay, now my other images, they're all fairly small. See if we can get some of them out here. I'm not sure. I have a rooster that I grabbed at the last minute, and I haven't seen if I want to really put it in here, but I cut it out just in case. My other images I want that are very important to this picture are two little girls. I think you could write a whole book based on this picture. Make up a whole story of what was happening. I thought this rooster might be their pet, but I don't know. If he is going to be, he'll have to go in somewhere. There might not be room for him, which would be a shame. The two little girls, these are two little sisters. And I think they're being lured someplace by the wicked fairy. And this girl is taking care of her smaller sister. Now, I'll debate about the rooster, but let's put the girls in. Those little hairs things, you have to be careful with, and I just about tore them totally out. I went to all that effort to cut around them, so I'm going to see if I can save them. Her hair blowing in the wind. There. Think we saved her hair. Let's give a roll with my brayer. She's a pretty little girl. And then her sister is with her right in front of her, and she's kind of holding on to her, taking care of her, protecting her, not liking what the wicked fairy is telling them to do. So let's put the sister in. I could just see a whole story about this. I wish I was a writer. I could write a story around these two little girls and the wicked fairy. Or maybe she's luring them to a faraway land that I don't know what they do, but a good writer could make a story of this. There we go. Now, I'm very disappointed. I had the cutest lantern for this little girl to carry. And I think the fairies came and took it away because I can find it nowhere. So for now, anyway, she will not have a lantern. But that's okay. Now, an important character that I had for this, besides this rooster, which we will decide about later, is the fairy's cat. Now, isn't he interesting? We're going to put him there, and he's looking back at something. We don't know what it is, but something is interesting him back there. But before we do this, let's put a little shadow under the shoes of these girls, or I'll forget it later. You know, I'm Grandma Jan, and I'm very forgetful. If I don't do it while I'm thinking of it, I don't do it. Okay. So, I think we'll put the cat right there. Or should the cat be kind of going off of our frame? That might be interesting. He's like cats. He's interested in something else. And he's staring at it. Okay. Let's glue him down. let's see, do we want the rooster in here? He could be right here next to the little girl. That does add some interest. It kind of clutters it up, but it adds interest. When I was a little girl, about the size of this little girl, I had a pet rooster. My mom told me it would walk along by my side, and if I was eating something, it would share it with me, and I would share it with the rooster. I can't remember its name, but I really liked that rooster. And I guess that's why I like the rooster here. It's their pet, and he's with them. Probably helps protect them. Maybe he fights the cat off once in a while and protects them. Now, let's see. Here's one thing that will help tell the story. I have a sign that goes up here that says "this way," and that's where she is trying to go. Maybe there's somebody back here coming to rescue these two girls that the cat is looking at. At any rate, they're thinking they should be back there, but she is promising them all kinds of things to go this way. What's up there? So let's put the sign down. This gold around the sign was cut from wrapping paper. Although this seems to be going together fairly quick, there were hours yesterday that I spent cutting and looking and inking. But I don't think you want to watch a video that is literally hours long. Now I find if I use this real thin paper, like a wrapping paper, it really does want to wrinkle. So you have to kind of press it out until you get rid of all of those wrinkles. There we go. Now I had some things to go on the top of that sign, just as decoration. Now I put all my little things this time in a little baggie, because as I say, I have a tendency to lose little pieces. Like I lost my lantern. It may be down on the floor, maybe in the trash. It may have flown away somewhere. I have kitty cats that roam my studio, and who knows where that cute little lantern is. Maybe someday I'll find it, but too bad I didn't keep track of it. So I'm learning to keep my little pieces in something until I'm ready to use them. And I had this. It's no rhyme or reason, but it kind of fits the steampunk theme. Where shall we put it? For some reason, I think I like it there. It doesn't really do perfect balance there, but that's where I think I'm going to put it. Let's paste it. It's handy to already have them inked like this, and so I don't have to stop and ink. And then I had a tiny, tiny flower to go in the bigger sister's hair. I'm going to put it right about there. Just a dab of glue will do it. Okay, now I want to spiff up the background a little bit. I know a lot of people would use paint and all kinds of things, and I wish I knew more how to do that. I haven't figured it out to the point where I'm happy with doing it yet on collages I really want to work out. I need to practice it more. So I'm not doing that. I'm doing something different. All these pretty little shapes. I have a lot of pretty gold shapes here. See if I can get them to come out. And I made them by taking my wrapping paper and punches, and I punched shapes out. Just like that. And I made several shapes. I made a circle and a fern and little stars. And I thought it might be neat to kind of scatter those around my background. Let's see what that will look like. Just to give the piece a little glitter. And then I have some stars. These are going to be hard to pick back up and glue. After all, it is a magical place, whether it's a place we want to go or not. We don't know. It might be a wonderful place, full of magic and fairies. But these little girls aren't sure they want to go. Let's see. I like the way these look. And then I have a few little ferns I'm going to put in the corner as if they're leaves from a plant or a tree. So let's glue the gold accents down. Now I'm kind of wiping the glue that my fingers put on this gold to bring back the shine if possible, because the glue kind of dulls it there. Now turn our picture back the right way. I like that. I do wish I had the lantern, and maybe someday I'll find that lantern and I'll add it to it. So, there is my first steampunk collage. And I think you would really enjoy making one of these. I would suggest you take a look at that Steampunk Ephemera book. It's full of neat things. Now, as I say, this is really the only thing I got out of that book. These two other girls came from a book along with the cat, and the rooster came from a farmhouse book. Okay, I talked about forgetting things. I didn't put shadow under my rooster's feet. I need to do that. Ground him on the ground in this world. There we go. We got some shadows. The kitty cat doesn't need it because it's dark already. Now I think we're done. I hope you've enjoyed being with me as I put this steampunk collage together, my very first one. And I'm going to put it up on my bulletin board after I put some Mod Podge on it. So, there it is. Have a great, great day, and I will see you in my next video. So, bye-bye for now.